Hey, I just took off my hairpiece last night. It was really starting to feel a bit sweaty and deteriorating after about 3 weeks or so, maybe 4 weeks. Just around the front and sides and things. And the sweat of the summertime. I'm sweating right now actually. I just got out of the shower and it's quite hot in here still. When I took it off, it was just, my head was just soaking wet. It might have been like that for weeks. Who knows? It was night time and I just tore it off while I was lying in bed without looking, which is fine, so long as you don't expect anyone to come knocking on the door anytime soon. So today I'm going to replace it with this one. This is the last of the 9 that I've gone through pretty quickly. But I've still got 3 full hair pieces left, so I'll make another 9 later tonight. I'll cut out the stencils and then I'll bleach the front roots. And this is one of the original 9, so the roots along the front have already been bleached in there. Same as that one that you just saw. Today I'm going to just show you, if you don't already know, all the tools and everything you need to prepare your scalp for putting a hairpiece on. If you've never shaved your natural baby hairs off, then this will be to do with the measuring of where your hairline is receding out, and you've got to keep shaving it back. If it's back here as well, because male pattern baldness, I am kind of thinning around the back here to continue that horseshoe shape. But at the moment, I'd rather not have to deal with all of that, so I'm going to just continue using just a front partial, this leaf shape hairpiece, just to fit my own missing hairs. So first thing, you need the follicles to be weak and loose. You don't really, I mean I've done it before, as long as the razor is hot. And if you haven't shaved any of those baby ones off and you're still trying to do a comb over, then this will be part of it. You'll just probably want to start with beard clippers, just to get those initial hairs off. And that's the hardest day, the first time you ever put on a hairpiece, because you haven't got stubble just to quickly and easily know where it is. Now, I could add some conditioner to this and wet my hair a bit. Even though I'm trying to teach you how to do it, I should probably do it properly. So I'm just going to grab a flannel or a face washer or this cloth baby wipe and just wet the area with heat. I'm growing my beard for a little movie I'm supposed to be making. I've written that into the script because I was too lazy to shave. I'm just going to put some there, just get out of the way, and then this, just to get some glisten so that you don't hurt your skin when you're shaving. Don't want that on for the rest of the year. So in the case of having a recession all the way back to here, because you've got to move your hairs out of the way and get back here, you must have some kind of second mirror set up. So that you can see the back of your own head. If you don't, I have no idea how you would achieve this. How would you do it if you didn't? Because you've got to do it every 2 weeks. Yeah, if you actually do this, shave all of that back, please let me know how you do it, because I can't imagine how you would do it without a second mirror. Okay, so I'm putting my little finger over the edge here. And if the hairs get stuck in here, you just tap it against the side of the bowl. I would normally leave that running, but for audio purposes I've turned it off. We'll be careful not to go past that point and shave off the hairs that you want to keep long, because they flap over your hairpiece that you're going to wear. And you don't really want a no man's land of stubble back here where glue won't work, or it will work very ineffectively, and the hairpiece will start to lift and create a lip up in those places. So if you can get it exact, and I know that sometimes you're going to cut off, accidentally shave off a few of the hairs you want to keep, but within about 2 months you'll remember not to do that spot, and all these indents will fill in. In the meantime, I suggest you brush over with your hairpiece over those locations. Shave off your eyebrows? No, just you. People prefer eyebrows. And this baby wipe will probably have soaps and stuff from the company, so I'll just rinse that off my head. Right. Put the hairbands back on. Alcohol makes it even cleaner. Stings a tiny bit, not much. Mostly just in that spot there. So alcohol should dry after about 30 seconds. Now I'm going to put on this stuff, which is supposed to be like a no sweat. It's called Walker Tape Max Hold Sport. When you first get it, it's hard to penetrate through this with the product. You got to really squeeze it. It's not really very easy to apply until you get the liquid coming through, and then you should be able to see a lot of liquid coming out of that spongy thing, applicator. So I'm squeezing it with 2 hands. One hand is not strong enough to squeeze it. I need 2 hands. I don't know why they made it so hard to squeeze the bottle, because if you don't squeeze it, you could try to keep doing that, and then you can see the bubbles coming through. Every time a button in here is pressed, it releases a little bit of liquid, but you should be able to squeeze it as well. You can't. About 2 hands. Because you think you've done it, because it doesn't show you anywhere how much liquid should be coming out or whatever. And to be honest, I don't even know if this product works. When it dries, and just to show you how much it doesn't really matter that it comes down a bit further, I'm just going to do it right down there, see? I've tried to explain this to you before, but I think showing you that this and this, it's just like deodorant. It dries a bit white and crackly, but it'll come off in the shower. I don't know what the properties of this stuff are, whether you can use just standard spray on deodorant. It would do the same trick or not. I really don't know how this product works or if it works properly at all. But supposedly when you sweat, especially under poly, you don't want the alcohol, sorry, you don't want the sweat from your hair just to come up and ruin the glue, the hold for the glue. I'm sweating quite a lot right now, but, so, we'll see now. I'm pretty sure I dried there from the shower. Okay, you don't want to be applying glue really when it's wet, but it's not really wet. I just feel sweaty in general because it's a hot house at the moment. Everything's about Christmas carols, by the way, at the moment. Yeah, you guessed it, I'm going to play Santa. I don't know, it's something else. I might even shave this off and neaten it up because nobody likes this fuzz here. That's awful. Anyway, the next step is to paste on some glue. This stuff really dries out if you don't put the lid back on, so that's the consistency it should be. This is quite a new and full bottle. Once it starts getting really thick, then apparently, I haven't really figured this out yet, you can spray in some alcohol into the bottle and shake it up a bit and leave it overnight. But I found that was a bit of a weird result, like it went kind of white. 3 squirts of alcohol probably for half a bottle, maybe 6, I don't know. At any rate, make sure you always put this lid back on. You will find this glue to be extremely messy if you've ever used any other type of glue, but it's the only one that works. Now, the thing is with applying poly, you have the opportunity to not have to guess where the front hairline is going to land, because I will just paint this on, this glue, just down to this point here, and then I'll put the hairpiece on and I will deal with the front separately, because I'll be putting the glue directly onto the poly so that when I push it down, it will land exactly where it needs to, without any glue being present on my forehead, which requires a lot of cleanup. So this is basically just an anchor of glue, which has to be accurate, especially around the hairline bit here, because you don't want you lipping there. Add that to the dictionary. Put the lid back on everything. And you really need to have an air conditioner in your house if you live in a hot climate, once you don't sweat for some reason. And when I put this on in 15 minutes, probably won't talk to you for 15 minutes unless I shave this off a bit and hang up. It's going to need to have some, it's going to want to be damp so that you can see through the hairs when you're putting it on. That's the only reason to wet it. Also, it's a bit more controllable. Instead of hairs being wiry and flying around all over the place, they could fall underneath and get glued in if you don't. It's just easier to wet it. And then once like that, you get a hairbrush, put this on your knee, which is almost like a dome designed for brushing a hairpiece. Put it on your knee. I've got a bathtub here, so I can just put my foot up there and then that becomes a perfect, stable environment. Now, for me, that top straight line is going to be here, and the curved line is going to be the front hairline. So, because I want to be able to see it landing here, I'm going to let those front hairs fall down over my face while I look up through them into the reflection and gauge that that is accurate where I'm placing this later on. So I'm going to brush the hairs in the direction towards this way. Now, something to notice here, this is particularly curled up after being a box, that bottom edge there, see? So I've got to be very careful to not let that get bent around here. Otherwise it'll be a big lump. It won't be 0.03 millimeters, it'll be about 0.03 millimeters, it'll be 1 millimeter, which is a significant lump. It'll be about, I'm thinking a millimeter might be twice the thickness of my thumbnail. Just that bump at the front. It won't be that thick, but it'll be still noticeable. I'm just going to get rid of some of this at the moment because it pisses me off. But I will keep some hair because I need to differentiate between two different characters that I'm playing. One's clean shaven and the other one has facial hair. I don't leave this sink covered in stubble either. So I'm going to show you a beard design that I think should be probably called the Johnny Depp. It's a variation on a goatee which is a bit pirate-esque. Piratey. But I'm going to keep these sideburns a bit, I think. But I'm going to trim them, I think, because if you've got thick sideburns it makes you look kind of older. It took me years to be able to shave down here. If I did it every day, I think I'd still get rashes, but I still kind of do get rashes a bit. I'm always cautious about the neck. It's thin skin. When I was first told about a goatee, this is what I thought it was. But I think these are ugly, this type of goatee. I don't like it at all. So what I do is, I come in here, you see the Hitler bit there in the middle? With those two, what's that thing called, that? Frenum? I don't know what it's called. Do this. from the outside and angle down so it goes down diagonal like that. Get rid of all this. This side's going to look better than that side, isn't it? This is prisoner, this is deliberate. Seems like styled. And just check all around that this thing is not it's not a wonky shape. Try and make it an oval or something. And then just keep checking to see whether or not that's too wide at the base. I think it might work best if it's the same width as the mustache. So I call that the, I should probably call it the Jack Sparrow Harmonites. So up here, this is all quite visible and crackly, this deodorant stuff. I'll just test the glue. I wouldn't recommend putting down lace when it's still that wet, not dried yet, but it's tacky enough to just hold this. 1 second. It feels very unsticky. I don't know why I did put glue there. So I'm holding it like this, making sure there are no hairs hanging over it in any way. With lace, you've got to pull them out if they're sticking through. Now I can't see what's going on even though I'm only wearing the front partial. I need to make sure that it's all lined up and favouring the overhang if I can't get it directly straight. Also making sure that this side and this side are the same altitude. And there's no way for me to know whether or not I've got it on straight until I brush the hair back. So first I'm just going to push it into the glue with the brush, and then I'm going to brush it back. Remembering that I've only glued the back half of the hairpiece. I wanted to leave the front open so that I could glue directly onto this front hairpiece that's exposed and get it down accurate without having to worry about any cleanup. hairband again. If you don't have a hairband, you won't be able to basically have anything to do with a hairpiece. You need one of these things. Now with lace, you just have to paint along here and try to guess how far it was. Or push it down and then try to pull the hairs back, but it's all difficult and wonky and everything, and then you've got to try to use a comb or a pencil or something like that. It's a pain in the ass. This is not a massive, massive reason to choose poly. That difficulty alone is too much of a pain in the ass. That's what I want to worry about. Tape ultra hold. Now this is harder to do than the hairline that the actual natural forehead that I did earlier, because there's a risk that you'll get here in the hairpiece glues up here. Those little bits up there that could become curlings, you need to worry about that a bit. I'm just going to glue into them and then hopefully it'll just pull itself down straight when I apply it without creating a fold at the front hairline. You see those bits there right along the front edge of the plastic? It's curling in. So the last time I put a hairpiece on was about 3 weeks ago, and that's the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. And I'm pretty sure I will throw that one away. So each hairpiece I put on had required me to cut it out with a stencil from the wig, which everyone has to do anyway, unless you get it custom made for you each time, which cost a fortune. I don't understand why you do that. Well, I do understand it'll be hard if it's curved and everything. So I cut this one out with a stencil. I cut them all out with a stencil. 3 per hairpiece for me. I can get 3 of them. So that was first put on my head 3 weeks ago and taken off last night. So for each of these hair pieces, I had to cut it out with a stencil from the main hairpiece. Then I had to bleach the front hairlines with peroxide. Stuff. Okay. I applied that to all of the 9 pieces I cut out that day because I get a 6-pack from Lord Hair for $560 with a coupon code STICKONHAIR. And then, so that gives me 18, right? Because I can get 3 out of every hairpiece personally because I only need a front partial. Which I think works out to be about $75 for each wig and then about $25 per each of these for me. plus whatever the cost of this is over 18 hair pieces. One of these is about $10, a box $9.50 or something. And then I can't remember how much glue costs. Could be, I don't remember. Anyway, divide that over about a month or more. And a bit of this stuff, don't remember how much that was. That'll last for a year. And then some alcohol spray for about $4.50. I'm sure you can find it cheaper, but divide that over about 4 months, 5 months, a year, I don't know. At any rate, I think if you were going to look at one of these hair pieces this size, you could say you're spending, just say $30 per hair piece. Now if you look after it, it'll last you a lot longer. But if I say I've only want it for 3 weeks, that's $10 a week for me to wear hair. That's the cost. Then the time is the cost, like putting this on every 2 weeks, that's a cost. But then I've got to weigh up the cost of that versus constantly trying to do a comb over or trying to appeal to people and get them to listen to anything I say as a baldy, and worrying about the wind blowing away a certain type of hair gel I put in a position to try to cover over my hair. The paranoia of having people see how bald you are is a far greater price to pay, in my estimate, than having to do what I'm doing, wearing hair. And this is real time what I'm showing you. This is a full hair change. This is only once every 3 weeks to 1 month what I'm showing you now. So if that's the price to pay in terms of time, that's no big deal for me. I can do it. I'd rather not have to, obviously. I'd rather just have a full natural head of hair, and I had other things to worry about. Like I don't have to worry about having an amputated limb or starving to death at the moment, which would be much worse problems to have, clearly. So it feels like I have to say this every single video, because people just come on to the latest video and go, oh, what's this video? I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions about it without looking back through any previous videos. In fact, they won't even have got to this point at 32 minutes and 44 seconds in this video, because they won't have the patience. They go, oh, you can wear hair now. All right, I'm just going to start asking a bunch of questions. Like I've said, please answer those people for me. I can't. They're like little children. Okay, yeah, I'll put them on. All right. There's a lot of the same questions being asked with new people coming along all the time. All right. I'm glad they have discovered it, because I saw a video from the Colbert Report. Look it up. Some guy just recently. He's a politician. He had some sort of spray on hair, even though he's renowned to be very bald. It was just like some spray-on thing. It looked terrible. If they're going to discuss him anyway, it should have just looked good, right? If you're going to come out of the closet as a hair wearer, just go, yeah, I'll wear it. Yeah, laugh at me. He laughed at me for being bald as well, so at least new people don't know I'm wearing it. And the thing is, people psychologically just come to remember that you're that guy with a full head of hair. Yeah, once people said some joke about him wearing hair or something, yeah, I guess he wears hair. You know, it just goes away. People just get used to it. It's not like they can't look you in the eye anymore where they're going, right, constantly trying to see hairline. So, if you're not embarrassed bald and you're happy like that, you should probably just keep it. Keep baldness. Shave your head or something. I don't like this mustache, by the way. I just think it'll work better in the script. So, as I've said before, if that's fine to just push it down, you can just do it immediately after putting the glue on. But I find that it's going to squish around and take a lot longer to dry when it has no exposure to air, because air is the thing that's drying this. if I push it down and just go back and watch TV for a while, it'll probably dry on its own. But if I fluff it down, I won't be ready to just brush it immediately and style the hair. And also I've got to cut this hair as well. Yeah, I'm going to cut it out of stencil, bleach the front, and then cut it on my head, while it's on my head. There's no way to really do this without it being on my head. So I just do each one as part of this 3-weekly procedure, or 1 monthly procedure, when I swap the hairpiece completely. So this hairpiece started its life on my head, say, 3 weeks ago. And because it's so hot and everything, I was constantly doing this and stuff like that, and the hairpiece started to just, around the front hairline, lose a few hairs here and there, because they're V-loops. Lace has its own problems though. Lace has visible glue all the way through there, and when the sun shines on you, the glue is just coming out through the entire sweaty, shiny, entire hairpiece all the way. It doesn't shine through like that where your natural hairs are, only on the lace. So this is more convincing, and it wins for a bunch of reasons like that. Also, poly, it's 10 times less front hair maintenance. You will have to wipe a bit of glue off there once in a while, but very, very seldomly compared to the lace. That stuff will wash off in the next shower, or if I just use a baby wipe at the end. This hairpiece has a bit of a curling risk. It looks like it will want to fold under itself, so I place it down here. So I'm going to let that, oops, I touched it. So I'm going to let that have that little mistake or overhang of no, because those, I'm assuming that that little bit that's curling is not reacting to me pulling back. It's not uncurling when I pull on the hairs, it's not doing that, it's just going like this, which means that this bit here doesn't have any hairs on it, and I'll be wanting to cut that bit of plastic off along the front, maybe later, because poly on its own, without hairs coming out of it, is as bad as lace on its own without any hairs coming out of it. That's why the graduated process of having a little few hairs there and getting more and more thick, like in your natural hair, might look okay on the first day, but once the glue starts getting in over the next couple of weeks, it's going to start looking very much to anybody, like especially a movie camera that's doing an extreme close-up, that you've got exposed lace or exposed poly right there, and it's not good. I just started watching this guy on YouTube who makes videos about what women really think, and saying, oh yeah, it's just about personality. I love a guy with nice shoes, I love a guy with a nice watch, a guy who dresses well, he does his hair properly and so on. This guy says, no, fuck it, that's bullshit, right? Girls are looking for attractive Chad men, right? And that he's breaking down into which race of humans succeeds more in the male race and so on, who has the highest in the graph chances, how much your body fat percentage, and even shows photos. This is a 2 to 3% body fat guy. He's this guy with just veins and the sinew of his muscles shining through his skin. He must, I don't know what the hell he eats. He just burns it all, right? And huge, the Incredible Hulk. Imagine that. In fact, Incredible Hulk's the next category after, because you can see some shape, which is just a little bit of body fat under his skin. But these other crazy guys have the missing gap, the gap in their teeth and shit. It's just skin over an anatomy sculpture. And then there's 5%, which is probably like the Incredible Hulk or Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then it goes up. And then he says the girls like 5 to 10% body fat, I think I'm about 20 to 30%. I'm quite fat. I mean, I was jiggling the other day. I mean, I jiggle all the time. I'm jiggling now, right? And he says it's extremely important that you lose that. And he says there's this show called The Pickup Artist that was doing well on TV. And he says, it's not about how you look, it's about your confidence. And he said, no, that's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And he shows examples of somebody saying this thing and then it being disproven, and then somebody says this other bullshit and it's disproven. And he says, if you're a bald man trying to talk to a young girl, you've got no chance. That's just one reason to not be bald. And the thing is, you can even tell people that you're wearing hair and they might think worse of you. It's true, they could. But the other alternative is being bald, which some people don't think is bad at all. I have already put a link to the video I just mentioned. He's got a string of them. It's something about what women want, something. Yeah, look up what women want and just try to find this guy. I put a link in the previous video about what to take on a trip with you if you're a hair wearer. So just go and look at that if I don't remember to put it down again in this video. Very insightful. There's nothing I can really do to prevent that lipping from occurring, except just hoping that it's not curling over itself and creating that effect on the front. Because I'll lose double that length when I unfurl it, and then I'm going to sort of cut it from back here into the hairline, and then I'll push the hairline back too much. I'm just sort of brushing it and pushing it into the scalp with the brush as well. Now you see these hairs that seem to be caught in glue here? They're not really, because that's impossible, right? Unless I glued past that point while it was back. It's probably just sticking to that no sweat stuff that I put on my forehead a little bit. But don't forget, that's not glue, it's just a bit sticky. I'll pick those little bits off. Check here to make sure there's good alignment. It looks like a massive lipping problem here at the front, right there. And here as well. That's all curled up, and it's curled up all along there, and all along there too. Okay, I'm going to try and solve this with you here. Alcohol spray. Fine tooth comb. Pretty stubborn. I just don't know how to solve it at the moment without scissors and losing chunks of front hairline. Might be best to just leave it for the next 3 weeks and just be dealt with later. Wait, I mean never. Until my new hairpiece comes along. It could be too hard to fix. If you want to see how I cut my hair, you'll have to go watch another video because I'm going to sit down. I'll do this video at the moment. Okay. So that's how you shade and prepare it. I'm not really happy with this, but I need it at the moment. And I've got to do a whole bunch of bleach skin cutting and stencil tracing now, which I think will take me 2 hours, so I won't film that. I've made videos about that before. And if you've got any original questions, ask them. If you've got any stupid questions that have already been answered a million times, please watch the other videos or watch other videos from other people, or ask people, except for me. I've explained it for hundreds of hours now, so watch some other things before you just go, hey, what's this all about, or something generally stupid. Most things are answered. I understand, I would go on to a comment and ask somebody something as well, because I couldn't bother reading through all that shit. Just answer me, please. So, yeah, I think I'm mostly talking to the people who want to answer the questions. Please do it on behalf of all hair wearers who already know the answers. If you're a hair wearer, tell the newbies how it works. Thanks.